Jeff, everyone's present.
All right, I apologize for the slight delay. Everyone's present. We're ready to go, right? Is what I'm hearing.
Correct.
All right, so let me just get situated here for 1 second and we will get started. Okay. 1 second, please. I apologize for this. All right. Okay. All right, if everyone's present, do we? Sorry, Pastor Montalvo on this evening as well?
Yeah, my name is Franklin J. Stout.
No, not yet. Not yet. No, the pastor is not connected.
All right, is somebody going to be doing the benediction for us this evening? The opening.
You're breaking up quite a lot, Jeff.
Let me reconnect. Hold on. Sorry, maybe my earbuds aren't connected properly. Hold on a second, please. Is that better, Linda?
Yes, it is.
All right, great. All right, welcome everyone to the regular business meeting of Reading City Council here on Monday, October 11th. We're going to start this evening's meeting with an invocation, and then we will follow by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I will offer just a brief invocation. If we could bow our heads. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to serve the citizens of the city of Reading. We ask that you look over us and keep us all healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In your blessings, amen. So, Linda, if you could pull up the flag, we will all rise for the pledge. All right, it's just about ready. Here we go, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible.
justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to go right into our agenda. Linda, can we have a vote?
Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
Here.
Ms. Goodman-Hindershitz?
Here.
Mr. Marmaru?
Here.
Ms. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Sahelnick?
Here.
Ms. Ventura?
Here.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Here.
7 present, none absent.
All right, we have a couple this evening. The first one is celebrating the Hispanic Heritage Month by commending Rosa Julia Perro, and I guess she's a winner of El Pala, and Corey Diana Verona Caneo, and Nicole Verona. I should have let John read them. Anyway, John, would you take the lead, please, and handle the proclamations, please.
So first of all, it's a great honor to first celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and to be recognizing and showing appreciation to, I guess, the majority of the members of our community, but a few in particular. So Cody and Nicole, I'm going to begin with your commendation. I apologize. First of all, I want to say that I've seen you young women like bloom, transform since you were in Reading High School. I've seen you've been active members of our community, fundraising for scholarships for high school seniors. I mean, it's amazing to see how you've blossomed to be such strong, independent entrepreneur women, moms, right? So I'm going to stop talking and say thank you for all you do. Continue the great work, and I'm going to read your commendation. Whereas Corey Dalia Varona Corniel and Nicole Varona Cancelmo are sisters who together developed DN Organics, a brand specifically formulated for curly hair. And whereas Corey and Nicole grew up in the Dominican Republic, where their curly hair was perceived as messy and unprofessional. Once the sisters moved to the United States, they learned to embrace and love their natural curls beauty. Whereas Corey and Nicole's journey began as social media influencers under the name Curly Sisterhood, where they promoted brands that were geared toward curly hair's unique needs. And whereas Corey became interested in the science portion of their development and took courses to give her the ability to formulate natural hair products. Nicole focused on the marketing aspect, and Penn State Berks assisted in her education to market and promote their business. The two sisters successfully completed their education and began their quest in locating a laboratory to develop DN Organic. And whereas, with the assistance of Berks Launchbox, Penn State Berks Innovation Hub, the sisters were able to obtain resources and grant opportunities to assist them in their business venture. And whereas Corey and Nicole launched their product line, DN Organics, in 2021 and are sharing their journey to inspire others. They want to instill in others the importance of perseverance and commitment when striving to achieve a goal in life. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Reading commends as follows. The City of Reading City Council urges all citizens to honor the perseverance of Corey and Nicole, who are devoted to achieving their goals. They are a true inspiration for others. So on that note, if I can get back to my Zoom, I can't find my meeting. Oh, here we are. Sorry. Computer technology, all these screens on my laptop. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you for being such role models for, you know, our young people and everyone actually in our community. Look, I'm going curly because I was inspired by you.
Thank you so much,
thank you.
Johanny.
Thank you so much, Johanny, and the entire council. It's an honor. We're just very happy to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for the mention, and we're really, really honored. So thank you for having us.
May I make a comment, Johanny?
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations, ladies. And I wish I would have had your product when I was a lot younger. I'm going naturally now. This is my curls. So I'd like to be in touch with you to see how you might be able to help me learn from the journey you've taken.
Absolutely, Marcia.
Yes.
Johanny, Council President, may I? This is Mayor Moran.
Claro que sí. Adelante, Mayor.
Gracias. Felicidades, felicidades, felicidades a estas jóvenes que han sido un ejemplo para nuestra comunidad. So congratulations to these two young ladies who have been a great example to our community of what entrepreneurship and leadership really is. I met these two young ladies when I came into the city about 13, 14 years ago, and they haven't stopped. From a very teenage age, they have always made themselves available and visible for the betterment of our community in many different aspects. Johanny just spoke of a few, but there's so much more that they have done to embrace and enhance the community needs. So again, I think it's, to say the least, very well deserved and some. So again, my congratulations to you both, and it's an honor to have you as part of our community. Gracias.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Oh, can I say just one thing? Okay. I just wanted to say that we're taking the city of Reading. Like, I know that we are, we're considered small compared to obviously the United States, but everywhere we go, we mention we're from Reading. In our bottles, we're proudly saying we're from, Varona Code DN Organics from Reading, Pennsylvania. We have almost sold to almost every single state in the United States and the Netherlands. So we're taking the city out and just with a lot of orgullo. I'm very proud. Just, you know, humbling to saying that, you know, we're a small company, but trying to make as much impact to instill confidence in women as possible. We were just selected to as top 5 in a national contest. And this week they're gonna announce the winner. So we're just, just being here and hearing from the city of Reading just makes us very emotional and very proud to share all the accomplishments. But we also wanted to say that we always are proud to say where we're from and bring that the recognition back to the city.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, anyone while we before we move on? Thank you guys. Okay, Johanny, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Would you like me to move on with the next commendation?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so we love to celebrate our community, right? Because we have so many powerful players and contributors to our great city of Reading. So Angel and Isamac and the iLead team, I mean, you have created so many differences in so many people's lives in our community for ages. I mean, obviously way before my time, but I've seen how hard you work and how dedicated and committed you've been. And I appreciate the work that you put in, especially to celebrate the Puerto Rican Day Parade, right? Which encompasses not just only Puerto Ricans, because we're all in there, brothers and sisters, we're all Puerto Rican for that one day. So I appreciate the work. I know the day of the event, I had a commendation, but it didn't really mention iLead, and I'm so sorry. So I wanted to make it right, because you know what? It worked out perfectly. You deserve your own spotlight. So without further ado, here it goes. And bear with me with this technology stuff here. So commendation, whereas on Sunday, September 26th, 2021, iLead Inc. team will be hosting the Puerto Rican Day Parade in downtown city Reading. And whereas the first Puerto Rican Day Parade was held on Sunday, April 13, 1958 in Manhattan, New York. And whereas the parade is held in honor of the more than 3.2 million inhabitants of Puerto Rico and all people of Puerto Rican descent that reside in the United States mainland. And whereas the Puerto Rican Day Parade is intended to promote an awareness and appreciation of Puerto Rican culture and history, Puerto Rico's energy and vibrancy will be heard, tasted, and felt during this celebration by everyone who partakes. It is a festival showcasing cultural creativity and diversity. Now, therefore, it is with great dignity and honor that the Council of the City of Reading recognizes and commends the Puerto Rican Day Parade in Reading, Pennsylvania, and Reading's Puerto Rican and Latino American communities. Thank you once again for everything that you continue to do for our community to showcase and highlight the positivity that we have to offer, right? Through our music, comida, cultura. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Well,
You're welcome.
you're absolutely welcome. For starters, I want to just sincerely thank you, Councilwoman Johanny Cepeda, and all members of City Council. As many of you know, some of the history that we have played in this community. But the most gratifying of our work is seeing two young Latinas like Corey and Nicole just blossoming through our work. Corey was one of my students back in the day, and just to see her blossom and to see Nicole as well and her family, such a beautiful family. So, the work that Isamac and I are committed to is just passing it on and watching other young people take great pride in the work that we've been doing for quite some time now. So in addition, the one day, as I said, the Puerto Rican Parade and the Salsa Festival was just one day. And I call it the celebratory day of many things that are happening in Greater Reading and even in our country. And while it's a very festive day, and I thank all members of council for participating, the mayor's office was phenomenal. Public Works, my God, I'm cooking them some rice and beans, as well as the Reading Police Department. Just the collaboration from all stakeholders throughout the city of Reading was just so impressive. And all of you know, I've been doing the parade and the festival since 2004, on and off. But this year was definitely a highlight for all of us, because after the pandemic, everyone just wanted to come out and celebrate. So kudos to all those that played a role in that effort. And I'll toss it over to Isamac.
No, thank you, Councilwoman Johanny Cepeda Freitas. We can't forget the Freitas part, right? I, as one Latina, hyphenate my last name, so I like it when it's recognized. Just like Angel, what I want to add is during Hispanic Heritage Month, it is our 1 month nationally where we get to embrace our culture, our heritage, our traditions, which are so diverse, right? So for us at iLead, we base a lot of our mission and vision and focus on education, but more importantly, the diversity within our community. And that's why Angel and our team worked so hard in the last several years to not only offer the educational programs, but more importantly, fun type of programs like we've had recently. And we want to be able to continue to offer that to our community. Generation after generation, hopefully there'll be others that we can pass the baton to. In addition to that, you know, for me, knowing where city councils, at city council throughout the last, I'd say 15 years, has had also that change in its body that reflects our growing community. To know that you're there, Johanny, to know that Councilwoman Ventura is there, and to know that the remaining members of your council also embrace. They know that as the demographics change, so will the face of our city government, right? And as well as the face of our community leaders and our business leaders. And hopefully for good, in the sense of a good aspect. Because at the end of the day, in order for Reading to transform, you need individuals from all aspects to be a part and be engaged and be involved. So with that being said, it kind of took me away in the sense when we got the invitation last week, I was like, wow, you know, when you do the work that you do, you don't necessarily do it because you want the recognition. You do it because as someone like me, born and raised in Reading, like Donna and Marcia and Jeff, we just want to be able to see our city thrive and see our city do well as those, you know, changes come about with the population. And for me, I'm just one part of this overall puzzle. So with that being said, thank you for recognizing iLead's work today. I appreciate that. I really do, Johanny.
Thank you, Angel and Isaac. Keep up the great work, and we'll certainly see you soon. Johanny, any final comments here?
Hold on,
obviously,
before you
know,
move
Hispanic
on,
Heritage Month. Okay,
Jeff, if you
Mayor,
allow
go
me,
ahead.
please, you know, I'm going to try to keep as brief as possible, because when it comes to Angel and Isaac, I could probably need several hours to acknowledge what they have done for our community and the gratitude that I personally have for what they have done. In fact, I'm going to be very blunt and transparent and say I probably not been in the position that I am today to be a voice and a vehicle for all of our community had it not been for their encouragement and support throughout the years. So again, you know, you're being recognized today for what you have done in the recent past with the Latino and Puerto Rican Festival and Parade. However, the accomplishment that you that you are deserving of are way beyond that, especially, you know, opening doors for the elective office, you being of the first Latino city council member. So, you know, again, kudos to you both, kudos to your family, because it's not just you two, it's a family that comes together in what you guys do. So again, well recognized. Thank you, Johanny. Thank you, Council, for recognizing these two individuals.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, any final comments, Johnny?
Excuse me. So Council President, we have another commendation. She's not on
ahead.
the call, huh?
Go ahead, sorry.
May I read it even though she's not present?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next strong independent community Latino member, Latina, I should say, that we're going to be also recognizing and showing appreciation to is Rosa Julia Parra, along with El Palo magazine. As many of you may or may not know, but El Palo magazine is the only bilingual magazine in the whole county. So I thought it was time that we kind of, you know, they've celebrated 10 years in business. And Rosa, I mean, born and raised, well, not born and raised in Reading. She was born in Puerto Rico, but she was raised in Oak Brook, right? You know, single household. And I'm not gonna keep going on. It's just, I'm just so proud of like so many of the accomplishments of several of our community members. So we chose to also honor her as well. So I will read the commendation. Whereas Rosa Julia Parra is CEO and editor of Palo magazine, and whereas Ms. Parra grew up in public housing in a household that consisted of 5 children and a a literate mother living off of welfare. And whereas Ms. Parra was taught early in life to study hard, but to work harder, and after graduating from computer school, she gained employment in the banking field where she excelled for 21 years. And whereas Ms. Parra is devoted to her family and her passion, Palo Magazine. She developed her passion when she realized there was a need in the Latino community for a publication that would educate, form awareness, and be utilized as a resource for many topics. And whereas Ms. Parra continues to own and operate Palo Magazine, along with her husband, also known as DJ Chamo King, Rumba. However, she provides additional services in the way of graphic design as she owns her own graphics company. She has been able to offer business owners their own business logos, business cards, menus, flyers, and the list goes on. Whereas Ms. Parra has always been community driven and inspired and pays her community forward by serving on various boards such as the Centro Hispano and the Women to Women Writing Committee. She has also attended schools upon their invitation to motivate and inspire our youth. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Reading commends as follows. The City of Reading City Council urges all citizens to honor the dedication of Rosa Julia Parra, who is devoted to improving and serving all citizens of the City of Reading and Berks County.
Okay.
Yay,
Thank
Rosa,
you.
she's not here today, but I'm hoping she's listening and knows that we appreciate the work she does locally and beyond.
And again, kudos to another couple. It's amazing how the people that were recognized today were in couples, not individuals. Love it, love it. Again, two people that signified what this community is all about. They really are deserving of this commendation and some. So again, congratulations to them both.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Johanny. Anybody else?
Jeff, if I could just say something quickly regarding the magazine. As someone who's lived her life in print journalism, it is so good to see Rosa continue and to see that magazine thrive. It's always full of, very important topical issues. And I especially want to tip my hat to her as we go into our 275th anniversary year in 2023. She did an outstanding job of presenting history, the history of Reading in encapsulated forms to get people interested in the place they've decided to call home and how we can all work together, honor our history, look forward to the future. So she did an exemplary job in that particular issue as she does with all issues. So we look forward to working with her very much in the future. And again, congratulations to her, because print is not an easy medium to be successful in this day and age. So all the best.
Jeff, this is Marcia. I want to echo Donna's comments. Journalism is indeed a challenge, and to see the quality of this publication, it really meets all the standards. It's helped me to learn written Spanish. So I read in Spanish and then I look to make sure I'm understanding it correctly in English. And I've also been grateful to be able to contribute to the magazine and many of the timely topics we're facing. So congratulations to Rose. I've said that to her face. Every time I get to see her, that magazine is something to make Reading proud of.
All right, if there are no additional so all this new Reading of all it's very much
Jeff, you're breaking up. It's very hard to hear you.
Is it breaking up? I don't know why. Can you hold on a second? Can you hear me now a little better? Is that any better?
Yeah.
A little better? Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on to the agenda. The first item is public comment this evening. Linda, we have somebody in sight for comment?
That's correct.
All right,
Elizabeth Dales.
I'm going to ask Councilwoman Donna Reed to please read our public comment guidelines. And is this a agenda item or non-agenda item?
A non-agenda item.
Okay, go ahead, Donna, please.
Okay, obviously our public comment procedures have been impacted by COVID, so I am going to read this going forward. Public comment instructions. To comment at a regular business meeting, citizens can register by calling or emailing the city clerk's office by noon the day of the regular meeting. Instructions to access the virtual meeting app or dial-in will be provided upon registration, and instructions to call the council office there or email. Public comment for regular business meetings will also be accepted in writing by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting through an email to council@readingpa.gov. The message must clearly be marked as public comment. The comment received in writing will be read into the record at the regular meeting. Those wishing to provide in-person comment at a regular meeting in the pen room must register with the city clerk no later than 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting by calling 610-655-6204 or emailing council@readingpa.gov. The procedure to register to comment by signing a registration sheet before the start of the regular meeting will be suspended until the meetings are fully opened with everyone gathering in council chambers. Public speaking rules adopted by council allow those speaking on agenda matters to speak for 5 minutes and 3 minutes on non-agenda matters. All remarks must be directed to council's body and not to any individual council member or public or elected or appointed official in attendance. Any comment that is personally offensive or impertinent will not be read into the record. Comments on agenda matters, again, are limited to 5 minutes in length, and comments on non-agenda matters are limited to 3 minutes in length.
Okay, thank you. And Linda, who's our speaker this evening?
Elizabeth Bales.
Elizabeth, good evening. Welcome to the meeting. You have up to 3 minutes and the floor is yours.
So I'm here today to try to see if you guys can approve a disabled veteran sign for a handicap sign in front of a residential house. The purpose of this is, sorry, my father is a disabled veteran, 83 years old, lives in the city for the past 30 plus years, same neighborhood. The problem stems from the lack of respect in our neighborhood. These younger people with placards, I'm not sure, it is what it is, would take the spot where my dad parks in front of his house. Sometimes overnight, which means parking at the end of the street or a block or so away, walking home sometimes in the dark. The city sidewalks are atrocious. And I would never know if he were to fall or got injured until I see the flashing lights. So with that being said, he's been a member of this city for years, grew up here, did his service back here after retiring. And now he's at a point where he should be able to have a disabled veteran sign underneath his handicap sign that at the time he had to pay for. Right, and it's changed nowadays, but I was instructed that the council are the ones to make that decision.
I would like to add to it. I am the individual she's referring to. Mayor, Council Reed, all you council out there. Over 22 years, I've been harassed by the city of Reading. Once a year, I have to go into Public Works with my medical records, the doctor's approval, every year to show that I still reside there. I paid for that parking sign. I have other people that park in my parking space. Some have a handicap sign up there. Sometimes I want them to legit. Now, I get a handicap placard from the state. It's good for 4 years. I don't have to report to the state every year like I have to report here. I don't find that honorable. I find it being very disrespectful. I find it being very harassing because, like I said, 22 years I've been doing this every year in the month of June. Now, if that's my sign, then that's my spot. It doesn't belong to another handicap, it belongs to me. You here in the
Sir,
city, let me finish here, you here in the city, as well as the federal government and the state government, have authorization to do what has to be done. I know there's a lack of parking space. But at the same time, you don't know, in my neighborhood, there's not a day of the week that goes by that 2 or 3 people are moving in and moving out of my house, my area.
okay, sir, I have to interrupt. Listen, let us have an opportunity to review the issue. We don't typically respond during our meetings. I will ask Linda to bring it up on one of our committee of the whole agendas in the coming, perhaps next week, and we can take a look at whether or not it's something we can be directly involved with or not. I can't, but we have to contain our meeting here this evening. We appreciate you coming in and sharing the concern and your need right now, and let us take it and at least review it and get back to you. Is that fair?
I agree. I thank you for that. I want to thank the good mayor regarding my POW and my A flag. Please get back to me on when we're going to be able to fly the POW and my A flag up at the pagoda. You called me, you canceled the appointment on the 4th of October, but never told me when you were going to have the flag raising.
Okay, sir, thank you again.
Thank you, council.
Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, council, I'm gonna ask that Linda gets on our agenda. We'll review it. We'll have a chance offline to discuss it. Linda, do me a favor, put it down for next week, and I just want to understand the problem, okay?
Okay.
All right. No other public speakers at this time?
No, sir.
Okay, we're going to move on then to the approval of our agenda and minutes. That would include the approval of our minutes from, minutes from September 27th regular meeting, and approving of summations of discussion from the September 27th and October 4th committee of the whole meetings, and the October 4th nominations committee meeting. It will also include the consent agenda items. This evening, we don't have any, so that makes that pretty clean. Does anybody act to the approval of our minutes, our agenda, our minutes, and our consent? Please say so. If not, they stay. We're going to move on then to the administrative report. We'll start this evening by welcoming the Honorable Mayor Miranda. Good evening, Mayor. The floor is yours.
Thank you kindly, Council President. Thank you, council members, for your continued commitment. Thank you for recognizing some of the individuals in our community during the Hispanic Heritage Month. I also want to thank the speakers that spoke today. Just want you to know that you are being heard. I'm going to start off by acknowledging a couple of activities, events, and collaborations that I have made, and then I'll pass it on to Managing Director for the additional report. So in the last 2 weeks, on September 27th, I had the honor of meeting with several individuals from Veterans Affairs right at City Hall. On September 28th, I participated in a Zoom meeting with Travelers Insurance Company to commemorate Hispanic Heritage Month. And they specifically wanted to highlight my accomplishment as the first Latino mayor of the city of Reading and a major city in the Commonwealth. It was attended by over 150 individuals, and it was very fruitful. On September 28th, I had a phenomenal visit to the Northwest Library, where I did a story time with some of younger folks and some teenagers, where I read a story both in English and Spanish, and it was around Hispanic Heritage Month. On September 28th, I also participated and gave remarks at the opening ceremony of the Pennsylvania Latino Convention. It was a faith-based service opening ceremony right at City Hall, which was followed by an opening and unity reception at the Centro Hispano. On the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, we had several hundred individuals come to downtown Reading, specifically to the DoubleTree, where the fourth annual PA Latino Convention was held, where I had the honors of speaking on several occasions. Many individuals from both the city, county, state, including representation from the governor's office and the White House, were present. And to say that it was very fruitful, I'm not saying enough. I think that overall, even though it was the PA Latino Convention, it was attended by many individuals in our community and the state, where unity was the key word. On October 3rd, I participated and provided remarks at the Reading Film Fest closing night, award ceremony at the Goggle Center. I'm happy to acknowledge, if you guys don't already know, that two of the winning movies, the movie that won at on Made in Reading category was Follow Me and I Will Be Behind You, which was a documentary starting at the DoubleTree, and they got recognized and got first place. And then the Stakeout won People's Choice Award, which is the one produced by Mr. Margallo and started Mr. Castellucciano. A lot of people may know him from The Sopranos. And both films were 100% locally filmed here in the city of Reading. So that was pretty amazing. On October 6th, I attended the Governor's Advisory on Latino Affairs reception in Harrisburg, the State Museum, where I got to have some really good conversation with the governor, along with many other Latinos leaders in the Commonwealth. October 7th, I participated in a virtual town hall meeting sponsored by For Our Future. This was a national town hall, which was regarding President Biden's Build Back Better plan. And it was very fruitful, to say the least. On October 7th, on behalf of my office, somebody went to the Parting Project meeting at the Bar Association building. This project would assist individuals who have fully served their sentences to obtain pardons, allowing them to greater opportunities. So somebody from my administration will be providing additional information on that meeting and his collaboration to get more information. On October 8th, I attended Reading YMCA Move Up celebration in a Zoom meeting, which was very productive. One thing that was mentioned repeatedly was about how much joy the little ones that they serve there bring. So I'm going to encourage, along with myself, to visit the YMCA more regularly. On October 8th, I also toured the newly renovated lower level at Mary's Shelter, and obviously spent a lot of time with the staff to discuss their new programs. The tour, it was a joint tour with Senator Judy Schwenk, and oh my God, if anybody has an opportunity to please go visit that site, please do so. It's just amazing. Also that day, I was very busy on day 8. I attended the open house for the BCTV, and I took a tour of the new location in downtown Reading at Albright College. On October 9th, I attended the Clean City and Tree Planting Day, which was, oh my God, about over 125 individuals that came together. I have to point out and give kudos to the church members from Hogar de Refugio, as well as members of Berks Nature and members of RTC, Reading High School, along with the Sin Fronteras Jeep Club, among many others. Again, over 125 individuals showed up. We planted 25 trees and cleaned up all of City Park. And of course, we had some time to have some lunch and fellowship. On October 9th, and that evening, somebody from my office attended the Reading Fire Department annual Medal Day ceremony and the Tower Health School of Health Science and the opening house of the Firefighters Museum. So there was a lot of activities going on Saturday. Lastly, but not least, well, actually two more. On October 10th, I attended an amazing tournament led by the Real Deal, a non-for-profit group that promotes mental health awareness. They had their suicide and mental health awareness basketball team, where I would say at least 100 youth were there participating. Kudos to the plug, to BCAP. My office also was participating and brought some funds among several other agencies. And it was a definitely hit. I definitely would love to see a lot more of that. And last but not least, Abe Amaros attended a community meeting last night at the College Heights Community Group, which I understand it was very fruitful. So I'll pass it on to him. And if you have any questions afterwards, I'm here.
Thank you, Mayor. I will share the rest of the administrative report with everybody. Just so the public is aware, earlier this evening, I presented a PowerPoint on the American Rescue Plan. And at the top of the list was a $5.5 million initiative for displaced residents and homelessness. And it came out to $5.5 million. So $2 million is coming from the city's allocation of $61 million. And we were also fortunate enough to receive an additional $3.5 million from the Home ARP grant. These funds are going to be used to acquire and develop non-congregate shelters for individuals or families. And the monies may also be used to acquire, rehabilitate, or construct NCS units, acquire improved or unimproved real properties, demolish existing structures for development, and or capitalize a replacement reserve to cover reasonable and necessary costs of replacing major systems and their components. So that's very exciting news. The Community Development Department's Property Maintenance Division is also expanding on ways to address the significant challenges the division has identified recently. Some of the action items that are being implemented are assigning inspectors to focus on specific areas and connect with property owners. The division has also developed a list of chronic violators that inspectors will follow up directly with landlords. And just today, I had a very good conversation with Council President Waltman about codes and some creative ideas that he shared with us. And we're going to have a follow-up meeting this Thursday at noon in the mayor's office. Under finance, the Department Citizen Service Center received minimal phone calls from property owners regarding the transition to city trash service and new charges on recent bills. Staff was able to address most of the anticipated issues with property owners upon receiving their notification letter. The Finance Department is also currently working with Public Works Solid Waste Division to improve the billing process for properties that experience a change of ownership, but previously had a senior citizen discount applied to the address. The department also met with Berks EIT tax collection, and rates are expected for this period. The Finance Department CSC also provided information to be distributed at a community table at the Salsa Festival back on September the 26th at City Park. And the event was very well attended, which also provided great outreach for the city. The department's grant division was also very busy. The United States Department of Justice Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant was prepared and submitted in August, and this grant would benefit the city and county law enforcement operations. The grant was awarded to the city and the county with the city's allocated amount of $55,403. The funds will go towards 540 hours of police officer special detail overtime and a one-year reporting and record management software subscription. Another grant is the Recycling 902 grant. The grant application was prepared and submitted on September 24th by Public Works. And we also had a Schuylkill River Trail, DCD CFA Greenways Trail and Recreation Program grant. we were awarded $125,000 for upgrades to Schuylkill River Trail with a $75,000 match required, which will be allocated from the CIP funds. The grant project includes design and construction for trail upgrades needed to complement the current Schuylkill River Trail project, with activity period ending on June 30th of 2022. The city is preparing an extension request, which will be submitted by the end of December. In terms of City Park, Bear Park, and Sixth Anatomy Playground, city staff is scheduled to meet with civil and environmental consultants to review plans for each site and compare grant project narratives. The first site visit will be 6th and Amity at the beginning of this month. Actually, it had already taken place last week. The Penn Street Courtyard. The project will remove brick walls and include paving, replace stamped concrete, and existing concrete walls and planters will be coated with sealant and primer for possible mural painting. Also being removed and replaced are the existing drains and stormwater piping. And lastly, under finance, the department has moved the implementation date for the defined contribution plan to January 1st, 2022. That will allow for a smooth transition. Under the fire department, 9th and Marion Street Station project had 4 out of their 5 construction contracts approved by City Council. Thank you very much. The 5th contract for mechanical and HVAC services went out for bid with a deadline, and the deadline was today. A groundbreaking ceremony will be announced when details are finalized. And the mayor mentioned in his report that the department also held its annual award ceremony this past Saturday. Ceremony covered a 2-year period due to last year's cancellation related to the pandemic. Many department members received an award this event, which was absolutely fantastic. And I was happy to see Councilor Reed also attend. Under Human Relations, 1,054 total rent and utility assistance applications were received. 1,014 applications were for rental assistance, 40 applications for utility assistance. And earlier, I also mentioned during our presentation that the city and the county are looking to do a joint venture on the displaced residents and homeless initiative. So I'm looking forward to that meeting, which is going to be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Under Human Resources, the department is reconvening the Wellness Committee, which focuses on the health and well-being of city employees. A kickoff meeting will be held very shortly. The Human Resource Department is preparing for the open enrollment period for employee benefits and the annual Employee Wellness Fair. Both events will take place in early November. Under Library, the Reading Public Library's Northwest Branch hosted Hispanic Heritage Month story time with Mayor Moran as the guest reader. Mayor Moran really connected with the children, many of which were middle school students. And Bronwyn Gamble, our director, was raving about the event. The Reading Public Library's executive director also attended the Pennsylvania Library Association's annual conference, which was held virtually. And lastly, under Library, this is great news. Under Cocktails and Classics, an event that was held on Friday, October the 1st, the event raised 127,000 people, attended by more than 300 individuals. Kudos to the library, and thank you for your generosity. The Reading Police Department's Community Outreach Officer, Lieutenant Lance Lillis, continues to attend recruiting events at area colleges, universities, and other local events. He is partnered with a Transition Assistance Program, also known as TAP, which provides resources to the approximately 200,000 service members that transition to civilian life annually. And lastly, under Public Works, the staff has completed 200 out of the 780 streetlights from the LED streetlight project. The department has also completed the City Park Washington Street Stonewall project and the Public Works 18th Ward Bicycle and Pedestrian Trail Construction project continues with pavement restoration occurring at the 3rd traffic island. At the same time, preparations for the concrete curb installation at the 6th traffic island are happening. I just want to conclude with 2 smaller items. First of all, I want everyone to know that Chief Stout Jamar Kelly and I attended the Pennsylvania Municipal League Conference last week in Lancaster, which was very useful in terms of bringing together municipalities with common themes. We had great workshops on COVID, great workshops on the ARP, great workshop on environmental mediation, and we're continuing with that dialogue. And I know that Frank Dombaski has also been very active with the league, having served on several committees over the last several years. And lastly, I want everyone to know how wonderful RAC is as a community partner. 2 Tuesdays ago, I had the privilege of taking a tour for the first time with Dr. Susan Luley, and it happened to coincide with the food pantry that they set up for students and members of the community. It was absolutely fabulous to see that kind of generosity put in place and formalized and run by members of the student government. So kudos to RAC for being wonderful community partners. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, Abe and Mayor, for the report. I'm going to open it up to City Council for any questions or comments at this time. Does anybody have any comments or questions for the mayor or the managing director? No one?
Jeff, it's Marcia.
Go ahead, Marcia.
First of all, thank you for such a detailed report. It's great to see all the events happening and some of the initiatives occurring. I'll continue to work with the administration. I'm glad to see there's something being earmarked for the homeless. I know Councilwoman Cepeda Freitas and I have spoken. There is a real sad presence of people that don't have any motivation. Their minds are so limited at this point that I don't think that they want to move from what's a comfortable spot. And it really does impact the quality of life in the city. I feel for them because they're going where their comfort zone is. They found a place to camp out and that's where they're going to stay. So we really need to work with the Coalition to End Homelessness. I know our outreach has been attempting to reach many of those individuals. They transport them over to the hospital. They refuse to go into the emergency room and then they're back out in the same location. So we just need to keep working at it. And we also need, and I'm glad to see the council president had a discussion about codes. I've seen some horrendous things lately, including things in our downtown core. It makes me hard when I'm walking through with some of my coworkers down in the city. They know an elected official in the city, and there's no way I can explain to them the appearance of some of the buildings. It just puts me in a position that's very, I feel like I haven't done my job, but we have to teamwork to make it happen. That's all I got to say. And we'll have further discussions as we move forward.
Okay, thank you, Marcia, for your comments. Any additional comments? Members?
Jeff, it's Donna.
Yep, go ahead, Donna.
Just one quick thing dovetailing on that. It seems to me, and I'm downtown a little bit more, that we still have a proliferation of dumpsters on the sidewalk. I can't even fathom how that is allowed in the downtown core, and especially in the historic district with the limitations we have on that. So if that's something that can be checked into, and it's pretty gross to walk by them, and if we're trying to make the downtown better, dumpsters on the sidewalks filled with terrible things and leaking is not doing anybody any good. And again, this predates this administration, but unfortunately now this is the administration to deal with it. So I hope some headway can be made there because it's very, very unsettling to walk by. There's an occasional mouse that appreciates it, but I don't think we really want to encourage them.
All right, any additional comments from council or the administration? All right, if not, Mayor Abe, thank you for the report. We're going to move on to the auditor's report, and we're going to welcome Maria this evening. Maria, good evening. The floor is all yours.
Good evening, Council President. Good evening, everyone. The first item on my report is an update on property taxes of September 30, 2021. For the current year, the city budgeted 24.6 million for property taxes, which include property tax current, property tax prior, penalty and interest, and discount and allowance. And as of September 30, 2021, the city has recorded 23.7 million or 96.3% of total amount budgeted. For the same period 2020, the city recorded 21.6 million or 87%, which is 2.1 million less than the revenue recorded this year. However, $178,945 less was budgeted for this revenue line item in 2021. The second line item is an update as of August 31, 2021 on the user fees revenue. For the current year, the city budgeted $3,028,500 for the user fees revenue line item, and as of August 31st, 2021, the city recorded in revenue $2,169,568.05, or 72% of total amount budgeted. In 2020, due to the pandemic and the transition of the new company collecting the revenue or the user fees, the city had a decrease in revenue of $790,857.47 for this line item. The 2021 pension estate contribution, for the pension estate contribution revenue line item, the city budgeted $3,771,656, and on September 28, 2021, the city received $3,674,718.47 from the state. I just want to give an update on the 2020 audit. On October 1st, 2021, a draft of the 2020 audited financial statement for the city of Reading was received from Crystal Teo Orban Company. The draft is showing that the general fund ended with a surplus of $2.4 million. Part of this surplus was due to a big increase in revenue collected for real estate transfer tax transaction. Also, due to the pandemic, there were some projects that were not completed or delayed under the public works, and this contributed to some of the cost savings. Also, the police patrol also had a big saving. There is only one finding in the 2021 audit, and in 2019, there were 5 findings. At the moment, the city auditor and the city controller are reviewing the 2020 draft audit. Thank you. This is my report for tonight. I'm open for any questions.
Okay, thank you, council members. Does anybody have any questions for the city auditor this evening?
Maria, this is Marcia,
If
and
not,
thank you for
go
your
ahead, Marcia.
comprehensive report. When will the full audit be presented then for a council to accept?
Hopefully the order will be presented to council on the second meeting of October. That's correct, right, Linda? Linda already contacted Crystal Teo, and I got the email, and the presentation
Okay.
should be at the second meeting of this month.
Great. Thank you.
All right, any additional questions? Okay, if not, thank you again, Maria, for your report.
Thank you.
We are going to move on, council, to the next portion of our agenda, and that's going to be the approval of ordinances or for final passage. The first bill this evening is 66-2021, vacating and removing from the topographical survey of the city a portion of the city right-of-way for State Route 3422, known as Penn Street, and authorizing the execution of a deed transferring the vacated portion of the right-of-way of Penn Street to Reading Area Community College. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting, advertised on September 20th and 27th, and October 4th. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? Please just speak up if you do.
Who was the second?
Johanny.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Hintershit, seconded by Councilor Cepeda Freitas to enact Bill number 66, 2021, which vacates a portion of the right-of-way at 2nd and Penn Street. Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershits?
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, the next ordinance is Bill number 73-2021, authorizing an increase in the base salary of the wastewater treatment plant laboratory supervisor by $5,000 a year, payable in equal bi-monthly installments, retroactive to January 1st of this year. Due to an increase in responsibilities, this was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Reed, seconded by Councilor Marmarow to enact Bill number 73, 2021, which authorizes an increase in the base pay of the salary of the wastewater treatment plant laboratory supervisor. Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Our next ordinance is Bill number 74-2021, amending the City Code Chapter 576, Vehicles and Traffic, Part 13, Motorized Devices, Section 1306D, by adding the requirement for the ATV/dirt bike owner to provide proof of title and proof of insurance prior to the release of the vehicle. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments?
Jeff, just a comment. I want to thank the leadership of the Reading Police Department for doing what they needed to do to be able to deal with the problem of the dirt bikes. And I think this is just one step to really secure the effectiveness. I've noticed a decrease, even though there are people that still drive unsafely and with a lot of crazy behavior, but I've also seen improvements. So I'm glad to support this ordinance.
All right, any additional comments? Okay, if there are no additional comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Marmarow, seconded by Councilor Reed to enact Bill number 74, 2021, which amends Chapter 576, Vehicles and Traffic, by adding the requirement for the ATV dirt bike owner to provide proof of title and insurance prior to the release of the vehicle. Mr. Marmarow?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, the next ordinance is Bill number 75-2021, amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 62, New Officers and Employees Pension Fund, Section 102, to prohibit the participation of new members where the employee is hired or rehired on or after January 1st, 2022. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Move to table.
All right, there's a motion to table. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All right, there's a motion to table on the floor. Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Marmarow, seconded by Councilor Ventura to table Bill number 75, 2021. Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Marmarow?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
All right, our next ordinance is Bill number 76-2021, amending the City Code Chapter 23, amending the City Code Part 7 by repealing the Minority Business Procurement Advisory Board and replacing it with the Equal Business Opportunity Advisory Board. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Salnick, to enact Bill number 76, 2021, which repeals the Minority Procurement Board and replaces it with the Business Opportunity Advisory Board. Ms. Salnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, the next ordinance is Bill number 77-2021, and it reads as follows: amending the position ordinance by increasing the base salary of the auditing coordinator by $3,600, which is available from salary savings in the salary line item of the city auditor 2021 budget, bringing that salary to $55,000. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? If there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Reed, to enact Bill number 77, 2021, which authorized the increase of the audit coordinator's salary to $55,000 per annum. Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
All right, our next ordinance is number 78, 2021, amending the Fund 43 City Facilities Construction Fund Budget Ordinance, reallocating $1 million in funding for the construction of the new 9th and Marion Fire Station. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Does anybody have any comments? Okay, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Marmaru, seconded by Counselor Reed, to enact Bill number 78, 2021, which reallocates $1 million in funding in the City Facilities Construction Fund for the 9th and Marion Fire Station. Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, our final ordinance this evening is number 79-2021. It reads as follows: amending the City Code Chapter 62, new officers and employees pension fund by adding a defined contribution plan for employees hired beginning January 1st, 2022. This was introduced at the September 27th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
Motion to table.
Motion to table. Who made that motion?
Johanny.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
So moved.
All right, there's a second to the table motion. Linda, can we have a roll call on the table motion, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Cepeda Freitas, seconded by Counselor Marmaru, to table Bill number 79, 2021. Ms. Goodman Hendershitz,
No.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
No.
Ms. Sahelnick,
No.
Ms. Ventura,
No.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
No.
2 yeas, 5 nays.
All right, so the ordinance is back on the table for vote. Is there any comments on the ordinance as it's on the table?
No,
Hello?
we need to
No?
have a motion.
Okay.
I move.
I thought, all right, you moving forward, all right, who else is gonna move the ordinance?
We need a second.
I'll second that.
Hello? All right, so the motion's on the table. Does anybody have any comments?
Yeah, I would like to make a comment, please. This is such an important piece of business to move forward with us looking at moving out of Act 47. It indeed is the strong effort by the administration working with PFM to be able to understand that a defined contribution plan is so important. We have seen the struggles with our past pension plans, not to take away from all the hard work that's done by our first responders and what they believe they needed. It does not put us in a good financial position to continue with what we've done with past practice. So I strongly support this. This is probably what I feel is one of the more important things that we will be voting on as far as being able to ensure the city's financial stability in the future.
Okay, any additional comments? If not, Linda, can we have a roll call?
Johanna has a comment.
Go ahead.
So I'm just concerned how the bill that we tabled, number 75, 2021, may affect or impact this particular bill, which is why I chose to table it. I thought that one decision may affect the other decision. So I just wanted to proceed with caution, that's all. So that whatever we decided, we will be able to implement. And we don't have to retract or repeal, etc. Thank you.
All right, any additional comments? Okay, if not, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Councilor Zalnick, to enact Bill number 79, 2021, which amends the pension chapter of the city code by adding a deferred contribution plan for employees hired after January 1st, 2022. Mr. Marmaru?
Yeah.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
No.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President?
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, that brings us up to introduction of new ordinances. We have just one ordinance this evening, and it's the Councilwoman Marsha Goodman Hintershitz that on the record.
Okay. Ordinance authorizing the transfer of $29,717 from the Public Works General Fund Street Division budget to the Public Property Division General Fund budget to pay for the new NECO replacement duplex water pressure booster pump system at the Public Works Center.
Okay, thank you, Marsha, for reading that into the record. We're going to move on to resolution. The first resolution is to approve or disapprove the certificate of insufficiency issued to the We the People Circulators Committee for the toxic trespass petitions. As per section 1105, procedure after
Jeff, your
filing
phone is
Part
breaking.
B. I'm sorry. Can
you start, please?
Yeah, so the resolution, can you hear me?
Now you
Yes.
can.
Okay, the resolution reads to approve or disapprove the certificate of insufficiency issued to the We the People Circulators Committee for the toxic trespass petitions as per Charter Section 1105, Initiative and Referendum Procedure after filing Part B. The charter requires the collection of 2,000 signatures, and 1,737 signatures were submitted, 263 less than the required amount. Is there a motion for this resolution?
I move to approve the certification of insufficiency issued to the We the People Committee for the toxic trespass petitions.
I'll second
I
that.
motion to table.
Well, hold on. It's on the table now. It's been moved in second. You can make a motion to table now if you would like. You have to get a second.
Motion to table.
All right, there's no second to her motion to table. All right, gentlemen, since there is no motion, no second, the motion failed. Okay, so we're back to the resolution on the table. Any comments? Comments, anyone on the actual resolution before we vote?
Can we get the actual wording, please? Like how it's supposed to read so that we can vote correctly.
Okay, I will be asking for a point of order if I can read the entirety of what I moved. The
Yeah,
motion.
go ahead, Marcia.
Okay, the motion is to approve the certification of insufficiency issued to We the People Circulators Committee for the toxic trespass petitions as per Charter number 1105, Initiative and Referendum Procedure after filing Part B. The charter requires the collection of 2,000 signatures and 1,737 signatures were submitted, 263 less than the required amount.
Okay, that's the full resolution, Marcia, correct?
Yes, and Councilwoman Salonik seconded it. Would you be seconding with the entirety of the content that I read into the record?
Yes.
Okay, with that in mind, any other comments? Anyone?
Yeah, can we have it explained to the public as to why we're required to do this?
I'll make a general explanation, Johanny. The charter requires in section, I believe, 1104, that the petitioners must submit 2,000 signatures. After the city clerk either approves or disapproves, and in this case, they didn't have enough signatures, they can petition us to review whether or not there was sufficient amount of signatures. So we know there's only 1,763. We do not have the ability to override the charter. So there are other outlets for this group to pursue some resolution. You know, our hope is to take advantage of that. Any questions? If not, then we can make a roll call.
You are breaking up, Jeff.
Yes, please repeat that.
Are there any?
No, repeat everything you said prior to that.
Council President, point of
Yeah,
order,
I-
can I ask
yeah.
that you defer to the solicitor to
Yeah, I
provide the
was gonna suggest
explanation,
that.
Yeah, I
please?
think I can
Yeah, that's fine.
summarize what Jeff was saying. Essentially, this comes to originally to the city clerk. She does the legwork of reviewing the petitions, the signatures. She has what the courts have described as a ministerial duty here. That means it goes to council. Council has the actual authority to make the decision here, but it's based on the city clerk's recommendation. Obviously, you can do your own review here. The recommendation is that based on the number of signatures and the clear language of the charter, which says that there must be 2,000 signatures, the city clerk's certificate is that of insufficiency, and the vote will be to either approve the city clerk's certificate of insufficiency if that's what's moved forward, or to disapprove if that's what is moved forward. But it requires someone to move that forward, and ultimately requires a vote of council. That's what the charter requires.
additional questions? Any additional questions? Okay, if there are no additional questions, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershit, seconded by Counselor Sahelnick, to approve the certificate of insufficiency issued to the We the People Circulators Committee for the toxic trespass petitions as per Charter Section 105. Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Hintershits,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
That brings us to our next resolution, and that resolution is ratifying the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Reading and the ASME Local 2763 for the 2021-2022 years regarding salary changes and other provisions. This is effective at the beginning of this year. A motion, please.
Motion to table.
Is there a second to that motion?
Jeff, I apologize. I couldn't hear you.
We are moving forward the second resolution regarding the ASME contract, Melissa.
Regarding,
The ASME contract?
okay, I'm sorry. I don't have it in front of me, but I heard you now. Thanks.
Okay, so there's a motion to table on the table. Is there a second or no? All right, it stands as standing. Is there a motion to move this resolution forward?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments?
Johanny here.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so I'm always interested in learning how we're able to pay for things. So I know you told us that there's a surplus, but I always like to be shown where the surplus is, where the line items are coming from, and how specifically exactly are we paying these increases. So moving forward, I like details, please. Thank you.
Are there any additional comments? If
Yeah.
not, Linda, can we have a? Yeah,
Jeff,
Marcia?
this is Marcia, yeah. I don't know why I'm raising my hand because you can't see that anyhow, but irregardless,
Don't raise your hand, please.
okay, one of the things that's important as we pass this, the administration did explain to us where the cost savings were coming from this year, but moving ahead, because it is a 2-year contract, and they did state to us it is included in the upcoming budget that will be beginning those sessions tomorrow night, just so that when that item does come up, that the administration will be showing us where those cost savings will be occurring to pay for the amount that's being approved, and not only this contract, but other bargaining unit contracts.
And if I may add, I mean, we're being asked to, yes, it's me, Jeff Johanny. We're being asked to vote on it now. And I know we approved for 2021, 2.5. So are we adding 1.5 to make it 4? Or is it going to be 4 plus the 2.5 that we had already approved for this year's budget?
Jamal, is Jamal on the line? No. Yeah, that was the pre-meeting question, John. It's a good question.
Council President, I have my hand raised. Can you hear me?
No, I can't see the hand, sorry. Go ahead, Jamal.
So as I explained during the committee of the whole, the ASME rank and file employees have received no increase in 2021. They have not received an increase at all this year because their contract had not been negotiated to authorize that increase. As we mentioned during the previous budget meetings, that while we're projecting, while we approved the increase for 2.5% across the board, it was subject to change pursuant to the outcome of the bargaining agreements, because the bargaining agreements determine the salary increase, not the budget.
Okay, thank you. Jamal.
You're breaking
Jeff,
up again.
your
Jeff.
audio is,
Any questions? Any questions? Can you hear me?
No.
No. I would suggest that Vice President
Yeah, let her.
continue with the rest of the meeting.
Jeff, can you move closer to your router?
No, it has nothing to do with it.
okay, Jeff, I'm happy to take over if I think that's what you're saying. So at this point, I believe the questions have been answered. And Linda, catch me up here just to make sure we have a motion and a second for Resolution B at this time.
We do.
Okay. Then can you please do a roll call?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hendershot, seconded by Counselor Reed, to adopt Resolution 93, 2021, which authorizes the ratification of the AFSCME 2763 two-year contract. Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
No.
Ms. Goodman Hendershot,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay, and that brings us to our last resolution for the evening, C, appointing Nehemiah Diaz Lopez to the Youth Commission. Is there a motion, please?
So,
Second.
Okay, and any comments about this addition to the Youth Commission this evening?
yes, we're gonna be accepting a person that's perfect for the position. I know several of you people were at the interview, and she's an outstanding, excuse me, an outstanding person, and she'll do a wonderful job. Sorry.
Thank you, Strat. Go ahead, Johanny.
So listening to this young man speak, a 15-year-old young man from our Reading School District, was very inspiring. It like gave me purpose to keep doing the work that we all do. One of the things that he identified was the need for mental health in our community, especially for our youth. So as we're thinking about ARP in the future, not sure how we incorporate this, but there's a greater need since the pandemic for mental health. And this young man was keen on like identifying this as an issue and as a means to also prevent a lot of the cyberbullying, to help reduce some of the violence that takes place in our community. So I was completely impressed by this 15-year-old young man.
Thank you, Marcia.
Yes, and having worked with youth throughout my whole career, I've never come in contact with a young man that's been so eloquent in the way he's able to define the issues and recommend solutions. And you need to have someone with that level of confidence and knowledge. I think really our youth commission is probably going to be one of the greatest assets the city has seen. And I want to thank our council ladies, Lucine and Johanny, and also Melissa, for really helping to spearhead this effort. And I'm just really interested in the article in the paper about how they're going to take a youth lead on gun violence with all of the members that we've interviewed. I just feel it's an extraordinary opportunity to see the work that our youth are doing. And I think we need to learn from them. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marcia. And I agree. I think that Mr. Diaz-Lopez is just another example of the ability for exceptional youth from our city to come forward and to do what they believe in to make our city a better place. So with that, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Marmaru, seconded by Counselor Goodman. Counselor Cepeda Freitas, to adopt Resolution 94, 2021, which appoints Nehemiah Diaz Lopez to the Youth Commission. Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Henschitz,
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Helnick,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
All right, Council President, we can hear you loud and clear.
Just
It's-
finish up, Lucine. Just open it up for council comments and
You must have sat right next to your router.
I don't know what happened.
All right, Council. We're at the end of our meeting. We're opened up the floor now for council comments. And
Okay.
I'll let you move forward. Go ahead, Strat.
I want to announce that St. Constantine and Helen will be having their Greek festival this year in full operation, inside and out. This will be the 50th year for this event. This coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you're all invited to attend. Thank you.
Okay, Strat, thank you. Anybody else?
She said, thank you.
Johanny?
Yes, so thank you to the speakers, and I look forward to us understanding what some of the issues were so that we can help figure out some solutions. I want to congratulate Goggleworks for their Pumpkin Palooza that took place yesterday. It was such a nice way of gathering community, seeing people of all ages enjoying the events despite the weather. I was quietly entertained by the music, the performances. Shout out to Wanda Holdren's Academy for the Latin flair and the young women who put on quite the show. I want to make a couple of announcements of some things happening or activities this week. The RISE program, who received a grant for anti-gun violence, they are hosting a meeting on Wednesday at 5 p.m. at the Goggleworks. Also, Barrio Alegría is having their fundraising event also on Wednesday, October 13th. That is going to take place at the Abe Lincoln. So please visit their Facebook pages, websites for more information. Also, the Reading-Muhlenberg Technology Center is hosting an open house on Thursday, October 14th from 5:30 to 8:30. And that's it for now. Everyone have a blessed week. Enjoy, all the events and activities. There's always something to do in Reading. Thank you.
That's certainly the truth. There's always something. There's been a lot of somethings lately.
Also, if I may
Anybody
add,
else?
yeah,
Oh,
if
go
I may
ahead.
One
add-
more thing. Sorry.
Yeah, Councilwoman.
Yes, October 21st, just a reminder to Facebook who's watching this meeting. At 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. At 11 p.m., we're meeting at the State Lot building. If you want to help Hope Rescue Mission, the Coalition to End Homelessness, to come to outreach. Mayor, since you are on, I would appreciate if we can get someone from the group you mentioned, what was it?
The Real Deal.
Yes,
Real Deal.
The Real Deal mental health. Yes. We meet at, I'm participating, I'm coming out. I was really intrigued and I want to figure out how we can help. So anyone who wants to join, 11 p.m. at the State Lot building, October 21st. And if you can bring the Real Deal, that'd be great. Thank you.
I would definitely make sure to reach out to them. I also like to add that I already have in my calendar to personally attend that day and be there from 11 to 2, as well as the managing director. So thank you for your commitment as well. I also wanted to add that on October 20th, I knew that we needed to be creative with Halloween. And as a consequence, I came out with, along other partners, including the Youth Commission, I Am So Ready. I decided to do a Halloween on Penn, which is gonna be focused on providing candies to the kids of our community, with a focus of having employers that are seeking employees to have tables and give out the candies. So again, many employers, many companies, organizations, establishments and businesses would have tables set up, giving out candies as a primary from 5:30 to 8:30, but then also having the HR departments providing information for job opportunities within their companies. We also gonna have some fun-filled activities, a stage, a DJ, bouncy, and a awesome time for our little ones and youth to have in a safe place. This will be held on Fifth Street between Fifth and Sixth, which will be closed from 5:30 to 8:30 for the whole community to come in. If anybody wants to participate, we have a lot of companies already committed. But if there's anyone that hasn't committed and would like to, because we're getting requests on a daily basis, they could go on to the website and find a link to sign up. Also on our Facebook pages. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. And you know, I just want to quickly acknowledge the mayor's comments on the event, the Halloween event. I just want to quickly acknowledge Brandon Hernandez from the Youth Commission. Again, just stellar individuals who are stepping forward. He presented this idea and concept, you know, and, you know, the Youth Commission has been carrying this along, you know, as a response to hearing what we talk about and the concerns and how it aligns with what they've identified and what they can do and bring, you know, to our city. You know, that's one of the best, I think, commissions that have been activated. I know I shouldn't discriminate because all of the boards, authorities, and commissions are very important. But, you know, we can't get away right now from the exemplary job that our Youth Commission is doing for our community. So, Donna, I don't know if you had any comments. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
First of all, on a light note, I just echo Johanny's comments about the Gogglworks Pumpkin Palooza yesterday, and it was good to see the two District 1 junior counselors, Counselor Ryan, who is the senior junior counselor, and Counselor Hunter, who thinks he's the city road advisor, blowing bubbles and thoroughly enjoying themselves. So it's great to see all the kids there. That was terrific. I just have a couple other quick things, and I'll try to synopsize quickly. On October 1st, the Science Research Institute at Albright had an event. It was outside the city, but did a beautiful venue, and we were able to really talk with a lot of the kids who are involved. Some of the things they're doing are astonishing. Some of the kids are getting patents already on their work, and it was really just a terrific evening. And it was. We were entertained by someone who's gotten the attention of the President of the United States for his work. I think he's 14 years old, and none of us could imagine being 14 and performing as he was doing, and just all the really great things that are going on with Science Research Institute in the sciences. So I encourage everyone to try to get out to Albright, check it out, and whatever we can do to support that. This morning was, well, today from 9 to 2 was the open house at Cafe Esperanza, which is an affiliate of Public Church. I was there and saw many of the area pastors from Holy Spirit, from Christ Lutheran, and from other places. Kudos to Reverend Mary Wolf, her daughter Emily, who has really taken on this project. They have their lift installed now, so when they formally open on Wednesday, those who are challenged will have a lift that they can, you know, be able to access the area. The cafe is beautiful. They really nicely restored the property, and it is part of an international effort where if you go there to eat, if you can't afford to pay, you're still welcome to have a meal. If you can't afford, pay what you feel you can pay, or maybe pay for the next person's meal. Folks who maybe can't pay can wash dishes, can volunteer to help. It's a really excellent organization. I was there actually today and got to speak with a young mom from the area, and she we had a nice conversation. Her girls are just adorable, and they want to run for president and county commissioner. So I encouraged them, as little as they were. It was great to see them at maybe 10 and 7, thinking about things like that. And the mom is going to be applying and participating in the police civil service test, because she has been very impressed with our police officers, with our changing city, where she feels very included, and she would like to make a difference in our city. So if you can't feel good after an encounter like that, I don't know when you can feel good. That was really a terrific thing. BCTV, I echo the mayor's comments, and Johanny and Lucine were there as well for the open house on Friday night. It is a wonderful new studio. I am so glad the search committee made the decision to locate downtown and the full board. I sit as ex officio. I don't have a vote, but I did all the advocating I could, and it is really great to see them there. And there was an irony this week when you see the opening of BCTV. Their signs are not yet up, but we did see the iconic sign of Reading Eagle Company come down. A little tough for those of us like myself who spent decades there in the business, but I want to remind people there is still a skeleton staff there. They still are putting out a newspaper, and I hope they can continue because they are up against amazing odds. But BCTV is, I think we'll see some changes there in terms of maybe not news coverage, but involvement and awareness of the events that are happening in the city and the county. They can't take the place of a newspaper, but they can certainly be an informational organization where people can get their messages out unfiltered and in real time. I do want to thank Frank Dombowski on behalf of the mayor's office for his efforts to nudge Comcast a little bit. As you notice, BCTV and the MAC channel have not been on the air. And I know there is outreach on Commissioner Leinbach and I have spoken about it. He is working his end. And I appreciate the administration is working their end to try to make sure that the MAC channel and BCTV get back up and running on Comcast. There are some connection issues. I know a lot of people depend on seeing these meetings and other things on there. And finally, one final comment. This past Saturday, former Mayor McMahon and I attended the memorial service for Mary Ann Bitting at Christ Lutheran Church. Mary Ann Bitting, a longtime resident of District 5, first in the Greenwich Street area when she was young mom and just young married mom with kids. She worked at the first Burke's Pizza, which was on Schuylkill Avenue, which is now a Chinese restaurant. She moved to Glenside several decades ago, and she was instrumental in Glenside Neighbors Group from the 90s on. When I joined council, she became a mentor to me, very wonderful confidant. She was full of common sense, and if you had an idea that was good, she would go with it, and if she thought you were wrong, she wasn't afraid to tell you, but did it in a loving and caring way. To Mary Ann's credit, she packed the church. And I think that was an amazing thing to see a full church full of people who recognized her contributions to the area. As former Mayor Tom said, Mary Ann wasn't someone who talked, Mary Ann just did it. And just doing it was the founding of Roost Room, which was an initial food pantry in the Glenside area. Interacting and mentoring the kids at Glenside Elementary School. When she and her husband retired to Oakshire Apartments, she became sort of the head of the community group there and took that on. She was just one of those wonderful people who lived for her community, for her family, for her faith. And to be in the presence of folks sharing memories of her, it was just as sad as we were to lose her, and we were very sad. The joy of her life just really permeated the whole place, and the whole church. A garden was planted by her great grandchildren outside the church following the service, which is very indicative of her life and her spirit continuing. And I think one of the things I found most endearing about Mary Ann is that in Glenside, up until the early 2000s, there were two people we all know, Big John and Mike O'Pake. Both Glenside natives, both long leaders of the community, and they were oil and water. And Mary Ann was the kind of person that could tell them both, sit down and talk. And I think that speaks volumes for the common sense of diplomacy and how she could pull people together. So in a changing community, she had friends of all representations in our community, and they were all there on Saturday afternoon. And we are so thankful we had Mary Ann in our city's life and in our neighborhood. So we remember her with joy, and we hope to carry on her spirit.
Thanks, Dawn. That was a beautiful tribute. Marcia?
My tributes are going to be of a more personal nature for the good things that I see neighbors doing in my district. And not only neighbors, educators, everyone working together. First off, a shout out to the teachers and art staff at 10th and Penn Elementary. If anyone has gotten an opportunity to walk in front of the building, they've done a delightful paintings on the sidewalk. And what I noticed is that the children are being educated by them. As I was walking by 10th and Penn, or actually it was this afternoon, stopped by Franklin's for lunch. The kids were having a great time, just sort of reading what was on the pavement, hopscotching, doing all those kinds of great things we like children to do. But the one thing that was brought to my attention, I want to share with the administration, was very much a concern of speeding down Penn Street. I've seen it at this point. I don't even feel safe going through green lights. I stop at every intersection, whether the light's green or not, because people are violating the lights. They're speeding down as if it's a race course. And indeed, there is no warnings there that a school's there. So the children are becoming victims to this reckless driving. And I'm hoping we can look at every one of our school intersections and make sure that we have the right kind of safety. I know there is on Center Avenue in front of Riverside. And I just think we need to assess whether or not we have that. It's very hard for the police to be there all the time. And that's another shout out to the Reading Police Department. They try the best that they can. But unfortunately, we're having a group of people that feel that they're entitled to do whatever they want to please themselves. And I like to be able to thank my neighbors for stepping up when they need to be able to say things to people, because we as elected officials, as city employees, can't be the only voice out there. It has to be the community that really takes it up. So some of the neighbors are starting to say things, and I think that it's helped. And also to the children that play over at Neversink Playground, I just want to thank them for helping my husband to clean up. He set the example by picking up every morning. And now I've seen the young people also starting to pick up trash. That's the only way that we're going to be doing it. Unfortunately, we still have groups of people that feel that it's okay when they are in their car, whatever's in their car ends up on the street, gets thrown out onto the highway. I saw that on Skyline Drive. It looks horrendous, even though there was just a concerted effort to clean it up. Our volunteers, which do a good job, and a shout out to them, can't keep up with the level of trash that's being dumped into our streets. And we need to come up with a comprehensive solution to it. It's just the same as with the gun violence. So I was at a very, very quiet place that I needed to be this past weekend and reveled in the quietness of the mountainsides. And I come home and I have beautiful mountains surrounding my home, surrounding Reading. We need to make them as quiet and as respectful as other parts of the state, because we have great natural beauty. We just need to respect what God's given us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Marcia. Any other comments? Okay, I'll be brief. Regarding the Greek Food Festival, just one thing that Strat omitted, you can order online. So if you are not comfortable coming to the festival in person, you can still obtain your favorite things and support the community through that facet. I want to congratulate Alvernia University on their homecoming weekend and all of their various activities that they are celebrating. amongst all the celebrations throughout our city. And I think probably one of the most important things that I could talk about that hasn't yet been mentioned is the redistricting. So we as council members now have been assigned to nominate or put forth individuals from each of our districts. And the redistricting commission is their charge for 120 days. No more is to examine the census tract information. Now, remember, we did an excellent job in the city for the census. And I think, Councilor Reed and all of us and the mayor and everybody who participated in that. However, now it's our responsibility to follow through. So it's very, very important that there would be some concerned citizens who'd want to engage in this process of reviewing and determining if the council district boundaries really do represent those numbers and our census tract. So if you are interested, please contact the council office or your counselor. We in turn will also be reaching out to you this week to see if you could help us in what needs and can be done now. So with that, I hope everybody stays safe while they're out and about, because there's so many wonderful things happening all throughout our city, and our leaves are changing, and we're getting ready in the spirits of the upcoming holidays in the new year. So very quickly, let's review the upcoming schedule, as it is going to start to be a little more frequent when we start our budget process. Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 12th, we have a budget review session at 5 p.m. And we're going to be reviewing the revenue, expenditure overture, position ordinance overview, major revenue expenditure drivers. Mayor, city council, clerk, city auditor, and managing director will be there. You can tune in. And Monday, October 18th, we will begin with the public hearing of the general fund budget at 5 p.m. and the committee of the whole will follow immediately. Again, you can tune on to readingpa.gov to find all of our meetings because we will be meeting heavy starting now, reviewing our budgets, reviewing our ARPA funding, the redistricting and all the other good work that is done on behalf of the citizens and by the people of the city of Reading. So with that, I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
So moved. Okay.
So
Thank you,
moved.
everybody. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
all. Good night.
Good
Have a
night.
good night. We'll
Have
see you
a good
tomorrow.
night.